Mike. Finally back in my basement. God, it's April 20th or 20th or whatever. It's fucking Sunday morning sometime. Middle of fucking April. Oh God. Yeah, I'm covered in blood. It's been a fuck of a night. It's good to be home. So, probably wondering what happened. Whoever the fuck you are. My diary. Well, let's start with some good news. I ain't being haunted by the spirit of my dead fiancé. No, he's fucking not here. Mr. Green Fox gave me a thorough check over in my brain, and apparently it's not ghosts, it's not Malkavian interference, although apparently there are such things as departed souls that don't move on. Just, it's not the case with me. No, it's to do with my stress from my embrace still. Apparently the experience left me scarred, which is why I have those fucking nightmares every night. But talked to him, felt a little better, kind of cleared things up for me for a little while, for a few nights. But the nightmares came back, unfortunately. Now they're as vivid as ever, except for some reason it's kind of changed now. It's no longer all about Gus dying. It's about that fucker that tortured me. But my half-sire called himself Razors. Whatever the fuck his real name is, I have no idea who he is. All I know is every night I see his face, and I see the blood in his mouth, and I see that fucking big, fat, grinning, pointed face just mocking me. As Green Fox says, maybe these dreams mean something. Maybe these visions are guiding me towards something. I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be guiding me for, but I wish to finish. Speaking of all that, the Razors are still around somewhere. They came back to here, roughed up one of my guys, and then fucked off. Said they wanted to talk to me. Didn't leave any kind of number for me to get hold of them on, though, so I don't know why the fuck I'm supposed to talk to them if they're not going to stick around and let me talk. I can't keep running from them, though. Can't keep running. I've got to face those fuckers. I think I know why they're here. I don't think they're after me. Maybe. Maybe they're not after me. What I am is a fucking idiot. I think because I do a couple of evening classes in fucking Microsoft Windows that I'm a goddamn hacker. It's bollocks. It's complete bollocks. I was checking my computer over and I think they've traced me somehow. I think they've put something on there that I can't find and they're tracing everything I search. So I'm junking that fucking thing, chucking the whole thing away, changing my internet provider, I'm changing everything. I'm going to buy new shit before I even think about going online. Fucking hell, what were you thinking, Mike? You know, if someone tells you the Anarch's fucking tech geniuses, you say, oh no, I'll search for them on the internet, that'll be fine. Fucking want to point a red flag, pen a target on your chest, you fucking moron. So anyway, as you can tell, I'm a bit wound up because the rest of the evening involved a lot of violence. Well, for starters, a couple of new kindred turned up in town, presented themselves to the prince. One Brujar that my buddy, the Brujar Primogen, took care of. Him and I have been sparring, by the way, taught him a bit of fortitude. He showed me a little bit about fighting techniques. Now I'm a kindred. Seems like a decent fellow. Doesn't seem like most Brujar I met. He hasn't got that hair-triggered temper thing. Kind of seems almost a bit even, if you know what I mean. Not at all like everyone told me Brujar were like, but the sheriff's the same way. It's funny, they're just low-key, even-tempered, all that shit. Strange. But anyway, one of them was this little Malkavian kid called Griffin. Well, I say kid, he could be 5,000 years old. Who fucking knows anymore how old anyone is? But Judith had her teams out at 2 murder sites and wanting to make sure there were no incidents, she sent people to both sites. So I went with this new Malkavian guy in my Ferrari to check out this crime scene. Some poor fucker got his head blown off, looked like a professional hit. Don't know what the hell that was all about, but it seems to have been connected to what happened next. So we check it out. My Arcavian friend says he has this feeling that we're being watched, and he goes all a bit quirky and Arcavian, but we can't see a fucking thing, so we let them pack up. We drive on off, and then out of fucking nowhere, this fucking monster looks like a werewolf or some fucking, I don't know, I couldn't even imagine what it's like a twisted man with claws out to here, and jumps in the middle of the road, smashes into the front of my car, stops the car dead in the road, fucks it up, like utterly fucks up my Ferrari, rips off the front windshield, sniffs us and says, "You're not who I'm looking for," or something to that effect. "You're not one of them." And then he jumps off and disappears into the night. I'm like, what the fuck was that? My Arcavian friend, he's no help. He's like, I don't know what the fuck that is either. And we run back. We get back to the gathering of kindred. And apparently werewolves are a thing. There are werewolves in the world. Vampires aren't just the only ones. Only weird fucked up shit. There are also werewolves. And so the sheriff asked me to take him back to the site where my Ferrari got wrecked. So I had to take him on the bike because that's all I got left. I could stick the Ferrari in the shop out back. I don't think I'm going to be able to panel beat that back together. And goes my fucking leaving present from Prince de Montfort. Only nice fucking thing he ever did for me. So anyway, I've got the sheriff sitting on the back of my bike. And after a grouchy confrontation with some bourgeois who I had to pretend I was not a venture in front of in case it turned ugly, we get back to the site, and just as we're about to leave, that fucking creature appears out of nowhere again and just grabs the sheriff off the back of the bike. And then poor old Damon, Sheriff Damon is in a fucking fight of his life, and this thing is slashing at him. And I've seen the sheriff fight before, and he's not a weak man, and he was overwhelmed by this thing. And he's trying to he pulls out a sword and he's trying to hack at this thing, and it just is slashing him. And I'm trying to get this thing's attention, and it just slams the sheriff right into me. And it doesn't hurt me, but it didn't do the sheriff much good. And then I go for it. I grab it. I got it in my arms like that. Then it drives its claws into my belly. Well, didn't do a fucking thing. Couldn't even scratch my skin. I'm like, fuck yeah, I got this one. Finally, I got something that can't hurt me, and I can fucking hurt it. And I grab my arms around him, I bare my fangs, I go to bite. Fucker dissolves into like mist in my arms. Dissolves into mist. Good. There's no way. This world freaks me the fuck out. So how can I fight something that isn't even tangible? So we go back, and apparently this is a common problem with certain types of vampires. So it's not a werewolf, it's a gangle. Gangle, like my mate Ken. Well, mate, sort of mate, I don't know. You can never tell if that's anyone's actually your friend in kindred society. They all say the nice and right thing, but you know they'd fucking turn on you and kill you if you represented any kind of threat to them in a second. Still gonna watch my back. So the prince is furious by this point. Fucking furious. So he sends every fighting capable kindred in a posse. We pile into his car and we track this thing down to its lair. Except it's not there. It's left behind a load of ghoul dogs to defend itself. Oh God, and suddenly I'm back to back with Lucian Kincaid, fighting my way through a horde of ravenous dogs trying to rip us apart. Once again, the things can't even hurt me. And I actually feel kind of bad for having to kill these things, because they're like everything. They're just victims of this jihad. They're just used by kindred for whatever fucking twisted purpose they want to see. Oh god, that was where it got hard. Because after we killed those things, we found its lair. And it was, in the entranceway, it was full of bones and gore, and I'm pretty sure they were human. I got splattered with blood from the dogs that we had to kill. And in the meantime, I find out that Ken can change into that fucking monster form as well. And he's wandering alongside me, so I'm wandering into this cave, being followed by this monstrous creature. These 3 pissed off Brujar. I've got Jeremiah Grinning Fox visible somewhere behind me. And I've got this fucking levitating Tremere called Carla following us behind. Fucking don't like Tremere. One thing every clan seems to agree on is don't trust the fucking Tremere. I can fucking see why. Creepy as hell, this guy. He can fly off the ground, blasting things with some sort of force of his mind. Twice through the fucking night, he just dives into my mind and starts talking to me telepathically without even fucking telling me he's going to do it. Don't like people in my head. Do not like people in my head, and I do not like Tremere. So, in this cave, this lavishly decorated cave with either blood and gore in the entranceway and then all these like old world style accoutrements inside. And it's just grotesque, because right in the centre there's what's obviously a fucking torture table covered in blood, chains, shackles, and we hear this voice, this sobbing, and we find this woman chained up in this little cubby hole. Pull her up on these chains, and she is a fucking wreck. She's gone. Mine's gone. Jeremiah, he did something to her. He shut her down. He shut her down before she started flipping out because of who we were. But the woman had been tortured for I don't know how long. There was just nothing left. Just this broken, tortured woman. And it made me want to throw up. It still makes me want to throw up now. Oh God. Jeremiah said I was over-empathizing because of the, tortured mortal mercy of a kindred. Nothing she could do. I didn't go through half the shit that she must have gone through there. These things still fucking disturb me so much, but everyone else just reacts like it's normal. The fucking Tremere wanted to feed off her. He said he used up too much blood in the fight and he needed to refresh himself. Of a fucking torture victim. There's a fucking crocking one there, bro. God. Ah. And then we get back, and the prince is in a rage because the Tremere in Bridgeport, apparently Bridgeport is some unofficial Tremere domain, have kidnapped his Chalder, one of his oldest friends, and they're holding him to ransom. And the prince just looks at me and said, "You better get my child back to me, or we are going to war." I can't go to war. I can't be in another kindred war. I just came from a kindred war. Steel yourself, mate. I gotta fight with the prince. He's my meal ticket. He's the one that's gonna keep me safe. It's gonna fucking suck. It's gonna be shit. But I gotta fight now. So it turns out this break from this break from London hasn't been as much of a clean break as I was hoping. I think I'm gonna have to clean my own house, so I'm gonna have to confront the Razors on my own and settle something. Maybe they'll take cash. Maybe I can do them some kind of boon or some kind of favour, or maybe the prince can negotiate for them, but I've got to get that out of the way. Because if we're going to war, I'm going to have to up my game. Oh. God, I think I'm going to go find someone upstairs. Wasted as all hell. And I'm just going to feed on them, get high as fuck, and just go to sleep. I just want this day over.